Hello, this time I would like to look at the topic of advertisement of my music, and I will basically look at the most commonly used types of advertisement you can basically try and run and pay for, and I will also tell you what the results have been so far for me. So I hope that this will be valuable for you, and let's get into it. First of all, I will start by looking at socials and which social media platforms work for me and which do not. I will start with Facebook, which obviously, if you look at the number of followers I have on Facebook so far, this is the platform that has worked the best for me so far. I was able to get approximately 11,000 followers for 1 year. Basically, I started last year in autumn, so during that 1 year I was able to gain this amount of followers, and the engagement ratio is not that bad. And why I think that it worked for me? Well, first of all, I think it has to do with my age, because Facebook is full of, as my kids pointed out, that the Facebook is full of boomers, and that's why you are doing so well there, because you are old, and that's that's pretty much it. I think that the type of music I make and the image I project, I didn't create an image for myself, and I'm just trying to be myself, so I didn't do anything specific when it comes to the style of clothes, or I don't know, the angles at which I point my camera and stuff like that. And I think that this appeals the most to normal working people who have a Facebook account. So in the case of Facebook in general, I think that Facebook is the oldest platform, obviously, but what comes with this age is the fact that a lot of things simply work on Facebook, and you don't need to worry about the ratio of the video, about stuff like how you want to frame the screen, stuff like that. Everything you throw at Facebook works right away, and maybe it's also an easiest platform for me to do anything, So what I do on Facebook, I usually post simple short format videos which promote my particular songs, and I usually make something short that promotes the song. There is usually the song playing on the background, and then there is me usually sitting in front of the computer and just playing the song, and there is some underlying theme which might be projected on the split screen, so I make these little shorts. I was afraid that I would look too stupid on them, but it's not that bad, I'm trying not to be much of a clown, because that's not the position that fits me very well. So I try to do it in a manner which is not that embarrassing for me. And so far it gained a lot of attention. Regarding the style of advertisement and the advertising budget I use a really small budget. I spend around $30 per month for a campaign with a goal of traffic. So if you look at Facebook ads, then you will select the campaign, and the goal would be traffic. So you are driving a traffic to your Facebook profile. And in my case, I'm using ads which try to promote my music, and that's pretty much it. And for this budget, $30 a month, I was able to gain 11,000 followers per last year. Which is quite good, actually. I think that this is the only platform when I see immediate or almost immediate results. I didn't try to, let's say, capitalize on the audience. The audience is spread out over the whole world, I guess. I think that the people who click the most click and watch and follow the most are those who are based in Latin America usually. I think it's the way they perceive the music and the way they are used to act, you know. If they see something interesting, they just click and follow. That's quite nice, I guess. But for me, you know, there's no way how to quote unquote capitalize on this audience unless I plan to go to Latin America. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But there is also a good chunk of people from Europe when I live, and from the Czech Republic. I think that around 1,000 people is from the Czech Republic where I live. So that's quite okay. And I think that they try to interact with me the most. They are sending me messages and stuff like that. So so far I haven't decided what to do with the audience, but I think that the most natural way would be to organize an event in some club in Prague and play something just for a bunch of people. But as my son pointed out, that from that 10,000 people, only 3 people will appear on the party. So do not have any big expectations from this, you know. So I don't. Even if nobody appears, and even if I do not organize any event, it's just fine, you know. But it's nice that it has worked for me so far, and that the budget wasn't that big, and I didn't want to spend a fortune on a hobby, you know. So the second platform I will be looking at is obviously Instagram. Instagram didn't work that well for me because I think that Instagram is aimed at younger generation, and maybe just the demographic disadvantage I have complicates things a bit. Yeah, even if I tried to run a campaign on Instagram, it was like 10 times more expensive than on Facebook, and the results were not so great. So I post the same content on Instagram I post on Facebook. Or on Instagram, everything has to be a bit more flashy, more posh, you know, more, in my opinion, pretentious. I'm not saying it's a bad platform. I think that it has its own place in the whole picture, and I think that this is the platform the most people use, and the most people will expect you to have a huge following there. But in my opinion, it just didn't work. And so far, I do not focus on Instagram that much. And I also do not run any campaigns on Instagram. And as I said, with the same amount of money, which is relatively low in my case, I was not able to gain any following on Instagram. So this is not my platform of choice. And also when it comes to Instagram, like the amount of stuff you can do there is quite limited. It just compared to Facebook and the universal nature of Facebook, whether you, for example, if you want to place a YouTube video link to Facebook, it works instantaneously. Yeah. So it basically creates a 9 frame for your video and the link works. The same applies for SUBMITHUB links, for Spotify links, for everything you throw at Facebook works. But almost none of what you throw at Instagram works. It's just a rigid, non-user friendly platform, at least for me, which doesn't do basically anything. So, and also forces you to like structure content the way it looks nice on the profile page. It's just something I'm not a fan of. So that's the Instagram. Then it's TikTok. TikTok is also for younger audience, and if you don't want to make a clown of yourself or throw ridiculous amounts of money to advertisement, TikTok doesn't work for old people as I am. So I post the same content on TikTok as on Facebook and Instagram, but no success so far. And I also do not plan to basically appeal to a younger audience, which is used to watching little sketches and clowns. So that's it. Then I had the account on X, Twitter, but Twitter was really full of bots, you know, and there were no real people there, at least in my opinion. And I think that it's most commonly used by people in the US, and this is not my target audience anyway. So Yeah, that's it. So I had an account there, but I cancelled it, and I do not post anything on Twitter or X. Okay, so when it comes to streaming platforms, I will definitely look at Spotify. I think that nowadays everyone is obsessed by Spotify numbers, and your success as an artist is measured by the amount of followers and streams on Spotify. I'm now in a position that I would desperately try to create a career in music, so I'm just looking at it and I'm making my own academic assumptions about the topic, and I act accordingly. Regarding Spotify, I think that you have basically three ways how to advertise your stuff on Spotify or make the numbers grow. It's not the quality of music, surprisingly. It's usually your budget and maybe your ability to drive traffic to Spotify from your social media. So based on the assumption that the quality of music I produce is comparable to everything else which is on the market right now in the electronic dance music, then the let's say decisive factor is money. And in case of Spotify, I think that there is so many people trying to get nice numbers on Spotify that it became a bit oversaturated. If I look at the first type of advertisement you can do for Spotify, it's running Facebook or Instagram ads. You will basically create an ad, be it just an artwork with music or a little video or something, and you are trying to drive traffic from social media to Spotify. You can promote either a song or a playlist, but the price for the click is sky high. This is ridiculously high, at least for me. There are people who can spend from $200 to $500 per one track on Spotify, which is for me insane amount of money. This is just something I'm not going to do because I cannot further capitalize on the amount of streams and numbers. The streams themselves will not make you rich. It will basically not make anything better for me because I do not have anything to add to those streams. I do not plan to tour Europe with my DJ sets or anything, so so in case of Spotify, I just do not promote my music on Spotify, and that's why numbers are really low. So now I would like to cover the second type of advertisement you can run for Spotify, and it's obviously a placement of your music to playlists. The most commonly used platform is SUBMITHUB. But when it comes to SUBMITHUB, I think that the real ratio of getting your music placed on a playlist is around 5 to 10%. It's not what SUBMITHUB claims. I think that there is a statistics that shows you that the acceptance ratio is 20-30%. I think that this is not really the case. I think it's much lower even if your music is good. Reason for this is that the market is simply oversaturated. Everyone wants to be a producer, everyone wants to have high numbers of Spotify, and everyone is basically obsessed with the numbers. So when it comes to SUBMITHUB, I wasn't that successful there, but my ratio was 5 to 10%. I got on some nice playlists, but they generated a couple of hundred streams. And when it comes to the amount of money I threw on SUBMITHUB, it's usually $25 per one track, which is also relatively low. But it's the amount I'm willing to pay, and I don't need to compete with those with 100 times bigger budgets. What worked for me when it comes to playlist placements better than SUBMITHUB is a platform which is called SONGTOOLS, and it's basically a black box which uses AI to place your track, or maybe to send your track to playlists. And I think that the normal playlist placement campaign is relatively expensive. It's $10 per one day. But they usually have discounts on SONGTOOLS, so I was able to run 2 small campaigns for 2 of my tracks for $35 per 7 days. And one of my tracks, which is called Go Go Love, was placed into playlists with the overall reach of 300,000 people, which is quite nice when you consider the price. But as you probably know, the streams generated for playlist placements are not that, they do not last usually, so they go down after your track is like pulled from the playlist. So it's quite nice to try it sometimes, but it has not worked for me. And as I said, Spotify is, I don't want to be part of the Spotify obsession in that in this regard, and it doesn't return any, let's say, real value for me. The third way how to, let's say, elevate your Spotify numbers is the use of bots. I think that bots are used very often in the normal music industry, and if a track is new, I think that it's quite common for record labels to buy bots and use them to give the track, as they say, the initial push. And I think that the bots are might be quite cheap, but I think that they have like specially designed services for them. Some guys who are really specialists and who do not advertise these services on websites, and they do it the way that it's not obvious, you know. And I think that this is maybe the most efficient strategy if you know someone who can do it well, and you are basically, as at least from what I understood, it's done the way that you are basically releasing a track, then you throw a certain amount of money to advertisement from like social media. You might have a lot of friends who run playlists who will basically put you on the playlist only because they know you. There is also like a lot of paid playlist placements, but there's also a lot of bots. And if the initial push is like huge enough, supported by the bots, I think that then the track, it's like throwing a ball, you know, from the hill, and if you throw it like a good way, that it keeps rolling, you know. So the initial amount of money you will have to pay for the bots, I don't know what's the budget and how efficient they are able to do this. But it certainly works for them, and I'm not that deep into the industry to know how this is done and what's the timing and what's the amount of money you have to throw at a certain track in order to elevate it, but yeah, I think that this is definitely a strategy to consider if you are a geek or someone who likes to experiment with this stuff. Then I think that bots are really a viable option as well. I don't do it myself because I don't have time for that, but I think it's quite easy to establish a bot farm if you want to. So this is Spotify. Then it's SoundCloud. When it comes to SoundCloud, I think that SoundCloud basically, at least for me, it doesn't work like a promotional platform. It works more of like a cloud storage for tracks I release. And if I want someone to listen to the track, I basically refer this person to a SoundCloud. And I do not have any intention of like growing on SoundCloud and gather my audience from SoundCloud, anything like that. It's just cloud storage for me, basically. But there are people who are really active on SoundCloud, and from what I understood, it's usually done the way that you should like other people's tracks, even if they are stupid crap, and they will follow you back. You are reposting stuff from other people, you are stealing other people's tracks, and you are doing mashups and stuff like that. I'm not into it. I do not have time for this. I think that the small amount of time I have for this, I'm usually spending on producing my own original songs, and I don't want to steal other people's stuff. So and use these, like, for me, like shady strategies, you know. So that's SoundCloud. Surprisingly, I think that I'm doing relatively well on Beatport, at least when it comes to streams. I think that sometimes happens that someone buys the track a few times, and a few purchases can basically catapult you to hype chart, top 100, and this happened to one of my tracks, and there were like several purchases of that track. It was not anything like overwhelming, you know, the number wasn't that high, but there were several purchases and streams, so that's why I appeared on the chart. But otherwise, if I look at the Beatport numbers and the amount of streams from Beatport, it's quite okay. It's like tens of people maybe hundreds in some cases stream the track from Beatport. But if people do not buy the track, if they just stream the track, it doesn't count against the chart placements. So I was able to generate some really low revenue from streams from Beatport, which is quite nice. So in case of Beatport, I'm paying for Beatport hype $9 a month in order to be placed in a hype program for small labels, and this so far gave me one placement in that top 100 chart, which is quite good for your own feeling of goodness, but otherwise it doesn't mean pretty much anything. But for a good feeling from good work, yeah, it works. So that was Beatport. Maybe one additional platform to mention is 1001 Tracklists, which is a great site that basically gives you an overview about the tracks being played by DJs all over the world. The database usually contains track lists of these DJ sets, and if you appear on one of those track lists, then it might be really important for your career, as far as I understood it, because people usually put it into their social media profiles on Spotify. I'm a producer supported by, and supported by means that someone played your track in his/her set, and the best way how to know that someone played your track in his or her set is that you will basically find the track in 1001 track lists, and you will see in which sets your track appeared, and you can then, if you want to do it this way, claim that you were supported by an artist who played your track in his set. You know, in this particular case, my track was also placed in sets of several DJs. And I'm glad that they somehow that they supported me this way, and it's nice when someone plays your track on his radio show or DJ set, because it means that someone who understands music from the position of DJ likes your track, and again for the feeling of self-worth and the amount efficiently and nicely spent on production basically paid off in this way. It's a good thing for your well-being. Yes, that's it. So that's pretty much it. I would also like to hear your opinion on the advertisement, and if you tell me in the comments where you are in your journey and what you plan to do and how the advertisement has or has not worked for you. I would also be glad to hear this, because this is my individual experience. You might have different experience, something else worked for you. So yeah, that was pretty much it, and I hope that the video was valuable for you, and see you next time.